So good morning everybody and welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be looking at, I'll move it along, employer branding today and what that means to companies and how you can get the most out of employer branding. So this is the Clover HR team, and we are your trusted people advisors, but also much more, as we do have specialists within our team in recruitment, learning and development, coaching, health and safety, and also CV writing. My name is Leanne Porter, and I am a HR business partner for Clover HR. At the end of today's webinar, I'll provide you with my contact details. So if you do have any questions or anything that comes up as part of the webinar, if you do just want to hold on to these until the end, that would be great. And hopefully I have muted all microphones, and do ask that you do keep your microphones muted throughout today's session, just to try and help keep the background noise minimum for those that are listening. So let's just have a look at what we will be covering off today. So first of all, we'll go through what is an employer brand. We'll look at how businesses can benefit from an employer brand. We'll also go through some strong examples of employer brand. And then finally, we'll look at how you can develop an employer brand within your company. So first of all, let me define what I mean when I'm talking about the employer brand. Essentially, an employer brand is the company's reputation as an employer, and every business has one, whether they know it or not. The employer brand can be built from your own products, services, it might be team members, the company's history, and just generally how others talk about your company. And therefore it does incorporate former employees, current employees, and also any future employees. As up on the screen, the CIPD defined employer brand as a set of attributes and qualities, often intangible, that makes an organisation distinctive, promises a particular kind of employment experience, and appeals to those people who will thrive and perform best in its culture. If you don't have an employer brand in place, then your employer brand will be based on the way you are and how you are perceived as a place to work. By defining and enhancing an employer brand would increase the company's competitive edge, and is something which Clover HR can support companies with and deliver. So just moving on to how businesses can benefit from an employer brand. In today's increasingly competitive job market, a positive employer brand is critical. Without one, hiring and retaining your best employees can become challenging and also costly. It's not just necessarily about an employee's salary and the benefit package which is on offer. It's about the culture and the feel of an organisation. So it's about like your social activities that take place, any company events which you hold and activities, how often an employee has contact with their manager and their colleagues, and the treatment of employees, so like their well-being and also physical health. And additionally, to be fully effective, the brand should not only be evident during a recruitment process, it should also help to inform the company's approach to people management. So, for example, how you would undertake an induction, how you go about performance management and reward, and also your internal communication. To deliver benefits, it's important the employer brand reflects the actual experience of employees. And generally speaking, companies with better reputations and a good employer brand have a higher quality and more satisfied employees. Also, candidate experience is significantly improved, and they tend to retain employees longer. So just moving on to some stats for you now. So when we're looking at retaining employees, less than 40% of employees leave a company with strong employer brand after the first 6 months of employment. And 80% of employees would leave their current company if they got an offer from a company with a better reputation. And then looking at attracting employees, so 69% of candidates would not accept a job from a company with a bad reputation, even if that means they wouldn't get the job or wouldn't have a job, sorry. 75% of candidates research about a company's reputation before even applying for a job. And also 83% of employees say that employer brand plays a significant role in their ability to hire talent. So you can see an employer brand does drive employee and candidate decisions and can obviously impact productivity and engagement. So Glassdoor, I'm not sure if this is a company or platform you've heard of, but Glassdoor is an online platform where current and former employees can write anonymous reviews about a company. And it does also have some additional features such as reviewing salaries and advertising jobs. But online websites like Glassdoor can be used as a tool for strengthening employer brand and is a go-to place for candidates wanting to know what it's really like working for a company before applying for jobs. According to Glassdoor research, 75% of active job seekers are likely to apply to a job if the employer actively manages its employer brand. And in less than a booming economy or times of uncertainty like we're currently in, it matters every bit more, if not more. And the fact that 8 in 10 of Glassdoor users agree their perception of a company improves after seeing an employer respond to a review is telling. So if you haven't already, it's worth going on to see if anyone has written a review about your company and what people have to say about you. So now just moving on to some great examples really of employer brands. So the first one up there is Google. So this is a brand which is well known across the globe, and Google receives 3 million CVs a year. Along with great jobs and fantastic career development opportunities, looking after their employees and promoting personal fulfillment has become an essential element of their employer brand. So another one is John Lewis. So despite tough times in retail and on the high street, there are some brands out there that have managed to consistently remain popular as a place to work, John Lewis being one of them. Part of their ongoing employer brand success can be attributed to its profit sharing arrangement it has with employees as a way to encourage a unified team that's able to feel part of the company's success. And then finally, another one is Starbucks. So again, another globally recognised company, which is famous for its employer brand. The company is especially known for its social media presence, which both advertises its company culture and cultivates an online community for its employees. One example, Starbucks uses social media platforms to congratulate employees once they've graduated. And this is a way to showcase their company's culture as well as promoting one of its benefits, which is free tuition. So now moving on to look at how you can develop an employer brand. I think the first thing you need to do is get familiar with your company. So ask yourself things such as, what is your company's unique attributes? What is the company's core business purpose? What's the vision, mission, values, and its culture? What are the company's objectives? And think about what sort of talent is needed to accomplish those objectives. I would then conduct an audit of your employer brand. So do you know how employees view your company and how the company is viewed within the marketplace? Do some research, which can be done via surveys with current employees or via social media campaigns, to try and discover what works well, what does and what also needs improvement. Then you can look to define your employer value proposition. So an employer value proposition describes what the company stands for, what it requires from employees, and what it can offer as an employer. It's good practice to draft an employer value proposition that clearly communicates the value of your corporate brand whilst reflecting what's special about working for your company. An employer value proposition should align with customer branding, so any external marketing you have in place, but also speak directly to employees. I would also then, once you've done that, you can build engagement amongst your current employees. So employees do play a massive role in shaping a company's culture. They live the values, achieve objectives, and manifest the company's mission. Without employee participation, an employee brand would be nothing. So some tips to get your employees engaged with your employee brand would be to hone the message. I would use a set of words or phrases that become part of the company's language, but do try to keep it simple, clear, informative, and also unique to the company. Encourage employees to update their LinkedIn profiles and share company updates. So where possible, ask employees to write honest reviews of your company on LinkedIn, and ask them to share and post news about the company, just to help spread the word about your company and what it's like working for you. Make a great first impression with new starters via the onboarding process. So they say the first 90 days of employment are critical to turning a new team member into a productive employee. Ensure the new employee is equipped with the tools, induction, and the details they need to hit the ground running. And then finally, you can offer skills training and promotion opportunities internally. This doesn't only save on recruitment costs, it also gives employees the opportunity for personal growth and professional development. And then finally, in terms of developing an employer brand, I would recommend writing job descriptions which reflect the employer brand. Job posts are often the first contact candidates have with the company, so they're a perfect way to promote an employer brand. So just as an example, if you're going for a brand voice that stands out, instead of writing must demonstrate excellent communication skills, you might want to try something like, you're the type of person that would soon pick up the phone and wait for an email to come in. So then just moving on to our summary. So a strong employer brand encompasses the company's mission, values, and culture, giving individuals a powerful reason to work for you. An employer brand is about everything the company can offer as an employer in exchange for the skills and experience employees then bring to the workplace. An employer brand should spark a buzz about the company, which in turn motivates job seekers and creates happy employees. These individuals would then broadcast their positive experience to others, broadening the employer brand. And growing the employer brand is a constant exercise which should be done on a daily basis. And again, Clover HR can support with the work necessary to support and grow an employer brand. So now just moving on to some questions which we had in prior to today's webinar, and generally things that come up when we're talking to business owners and clients about the employer brand. So the first one, how would you try to create a great place to work for your employees? Before jumping into any crazy initiatives to make what you think would be a great place to work, I would have a look at what is already in place. So speak to employees about what works well, what doesn't, get some feedback, maybe set up some focus group, whatever really works for your employees. And remember, each company is unique, so what might work well in one company may not in another. Then you can define what the company means to employees, what values does it already have, and how does the company treat people. And then you can look to discover what employer branding is currently in place and then look to strengthen it. So second question, how would you try to engage more of your employees to take part in employer branding? I would suggest empowering employees and encouraging them to share in the brand. Everyone is different and people will want to get involved in different ways. Some people are more open than others. And I would just say that you know your employees best. And I would suggest setting up different channels of feedback to ensure you get a holistic overview of the company and how people feel. It is also good practice to set out what employees can talk about and what they shouldn't. So what is the tone of voice? Maybe try to provide some social media examples for them to follow. Then they can use these structures. Employees will have security and less uncertainty about how they can engage with the brand. Another initiative you could do is just thanking employees for getting involved and doing everything they can to doing everything you can, to encourage and support employees. And that's it then for today's session. So thank you for attending and your attention. I do hope you have found it useful. If you do need any further support, if you have any questions you want to run past me, then please do get in touch. My email address and mobile number are up on the screen. And again, Clover HR can support with building and deploying your employer brand. So please do get in touch if you'd like some support. Thank you.